Welcome to Lessons in Progress.
The podcast where growth is messy
Lessons are ongoing.
and perfection is not the goal.
I am your host, Jessie.
And Alicia.
Welcome back to another episode of Lessons in Progress. We are your podcast princesses.
Ooh, we love that term.
I know. I actually was like, I like that. I think we're going to start referring to ourselves as
the
the
podcast
podcast princesses.
princesses.
Yeah,
I
plural.
love it.
Okay. We're on episode 13, so we officially
Hit the teens.
hit the teens. I wonder, over or under 30 until we start making some revenue.
Ooh, okay, she's going big right now.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a negative Nancy.
Over?
They would say that. I think a little bit over, but I would prefer for it to be under.
We're gonna cross
So
our
let's
fingers.
you can just say
I'm gonna say
haha.
under just so that we're not saying the same thing, but
It's better to be positive
yeah.
actually and manifest. So
Yeah. We're gonna say
under.
under 30, but all right, we're gonna get into our pre-topic cues. Do you think you comfort better, or do you confront better?
Oh gosh, guys, you already know this probably. I feel like I do not confront people well. So I guess I could say I comfort better.
You do comfort well. You're not a confronting person,
I
so
am not. So I like to listen. I try my best. Sometimes I don't have the best advice. I'm just like, I'll listen and I'll be a soundboard for you, as a sounding board for
Mhm.
you. But yeah, I don't confront people. I'm trying to work on it. But yeah, that's what I'd say for me. All right, for you, do you feel more powerful for being honest about your feelings or more exposed?
This is I don't know, because I used to feel more powerful of just being like, it's all on the table, but then lifed, and I've been in therapy. We need to just have our
I
therapist.
know. We should get commission. That should be our first
Yeah,
collab.
for real.
Therapy, if we refer someone,
I know,
pay for our free therapy
right?
sessions.
So I feel like I used to, talk about my feelings almost, not too much, but it was just like, "This is me, this is how I am, this is my feelings, and if you want it, great, if not, fuck you."
Yeah.
And that was kinda my mindset, with anyone in my life, it didn't matter how you were involved in my life, that was kind of how I went about things.
Mhm.
And then I feel like with trauma and, situations, I started to, be like, "Well, maybe I should not do that." Um, so right now, I feel like I'm actually in an era of feeling more exposed.
I agree.
When I
Yeah.
talk about my feelings, which is not it's like a new territory for me because 'cause I've never really felt like that, but I'm trying to work through that and find, a middle ground to
Yeah.
where I'm not, feeling too empowered to just be like, "This is it,"
Yeah.
whatever, but, also not feel super exposed, being vulnerable and, it's really hard for me right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like right now I definitely feel more exposed.
Yeah. I can see that. And I see you working through it though. Like you're doing a good job pushing yourself.
Thank you.
And we love therapy. And I think it's hard sometimes to balance how much do I need to get all of these feelings out of my brain and told to this other person, versus, what can I sit in with myself and kind of have as,
Mhm.
exposures, I'd say,
Yeah.
and have some discomfort with it, and that's really hard to
Yeah.
navigate.
Well, and I think before I don't like to sit with the discomfort, so it
Mhm.
was like I would just get everything out because
Yeah.
then it was like, well, everything's out on the table.
Mhm.
And now, there's some things that I'm learning, it's better to just sit with, but,
Yeah.
then well, I don't know if everyone else does. I, think, 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 think,
Yeah.
think, and so it's, so uncomfortable because 'cause I'm like, Okay, well, there's the people say that they don't need to know everything, but, like, I feel like they do. It's
Yeah.
just I don't know. It's an interesting time to, like, navigate.
Yeah, but you're doing good even though it doesn't feel like that.
Thank you.
Okay, so for our episode 13 today, we're gonna be tackling the holiday season. And the holiday times can be a really fun time to spend with friends and family. But I don't know about you guys, it can also be kind of a difficult time, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be discussing some questions regarding the holiday time.
Yes, and when I was writing these questions, I tried to make them, like, relatable and real. Obviously, we don't wanna be, like, sad about the holidays, but, like, I know that they can be, like, a really triggering time for people in, like, a lot of different areas, so we're just gonna bring some light to that.
Perfect.
So
Love it.
alright, so our first topic is family doesn't mean safe.
Mhm.
Leisha and I have talked about that we both are fortunate enough to come from a strong family, at
Mhm.
least, like, immediate family.
Yeah.
Um, so that's, like, a blessing. I know that not all people are, but obviously with holidays, you're not only with your immediate family, you can also be with your extended family. So, something that I found while I was, like, writing these cards that I thought was interesting was that the body remembers the role that you used to play.
Yes.
So, do you feel like during the holidays, um, around certain people, like, do you think that your body kind of goes back into, like, your childhood role and, like, feelings and emotions like that? Or do you feel, like,
I can
totally safe with your family? Like, how do you feel?
I think this one's so interesting. I actually really love this question because since I went to college out of state from back home, that's the biggest time I've seen a change within myself as, like, a person and, like, growth within myself, and so I feel like when I do go home, I'm sometimes put back not into, like, how I exactly was as a child, but I remember, like, my high school days
Mhm.
and, like, how unwell I was. I mean, I'm still unwell, but, like, really unwell, and I had no proper coping skills, and I feel like I do get that anxiety of just thinking about going back home. Like, I'm so excited to see my family because I don't get to see them often, and I, like, cherish the time I get to be with them, but, like, certain things get brought up when I, like, go back home and I think of experiences or hard times and, like, how I navigated high school, and so I definitely can see my body, like, responding in that way with stress, even though, like, I enjoy it so much. I also find it and I don't know if everyone's like this, but I find it where I kind of go back into my old ways of, like, living at home. So,
Mhm.
like, I am not doing as much around the house when I'm staying with my parents as I would be at my own home, and I'm like, "Alicia, go put the dishes away. You don't want
Mhm.
dishes out at your house." But I'm like, "Oh, like, my mom's taking care of me this week," and it's nice, like, I fully do rejuvenate, but I also get to, like, figure out to or not figure out, but I realize how much my mom has done for me growing up and that I took for granted all the time and I didn't appreciate. So, I don't know if anyone else does that, but when I go home, I kind of soak up the time I can to, like, relax. I'm like my mom's so great where she, like, does her laundry and she folds it, and she does all of these little chores that, like, obviously, I'm an adult, I do at home,
Mhm.
and I used to take all those little things for granted. So, um, yes, that's kinda how I feel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I actually liked, like, your perspective on that too because being around family doesn't necessarily mean that, like, it's hard with, like, the familial relationships, but like you said, like, who you were the last
yeah,
time you, like, lived at home and, like, how that can even be maybe a little bit triggering.
yeah,
So
yeah. So that's what I think of. Okay, so boundaries are not disrespectful, so how do you go about managing the holidays and having boundaries for yourself so you feel safe and protected?
okay, I feel like this one I need to stop saying I feel like. I looked back at the other
Oh,
episodes and
I've
I'm
done
like,
that.
I always say, "I feel like." Um, but I think as you get older, you do cherish the time, like, with your family, and there's something about the holidays where you almost feel, like, obligated, like, you're like, "It's the holidays, like, I should want to be around my family 24/7."
Yeah.
But then, like, you don't actually want to be. Like, you're like,
Mhm.
"I need some space," and what I figured out 'cause I moved away from home too for 3 years, and so, like, I was on my own, like, all the time, and then when I would come home for the holidays, it was almost overwhelming of, like, Holy shit, I'm never by myself.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that, like, it's perfectly acceptable to, like, limit your time. Like, if and it's a little harder if you're, like, staying with family, but even just being like, "I wanna go to the mall with you, and I wanna go do X, Y, and Z, but, like, when we get home, I'm gonna need a nap
Yep.
or just some space by myself," and then, I like to have my own bedtime routine, so, like, around 9 or whatever, like, I'm gonna go and, like, have my me time by
Yeah.
myself. And that just kind of protects your peace to where you're not, like, by the end of the week of visiting family, like,
Ah!
I'm gonna kill everybody. And I don't deal with that as much now that I'm home because I have my own space to, like, resort back to, and
Mhm.
my parents are really good about understanding that even though it's Christmas morning or whatever, like, yeah, of course, we're gonna spend time together, but, like, just because it's Christmas does not mean I need to spend, like, literally
Well, they yeah.
the whole day with you. Um, if you have family that, like, you live in the same area, I know my family doesn't. I know that a lot of families have this tradition of, like, spending, like, Christmas Eve night together or Christmas night or New Year's Eve night or whatever, one of the holidays,
Mhm.
and I think that again, that's also can be just, like, a little bit overboard for some people. So, like, when we talked about boundaries, there's ways to be respectful about them, but just, like, "I love you guys, it's not that I don't wanna spend time with you, but I need to prioritize myself right now, so we will stay till 11, or we'll stay till everyone gets in bed, but I'm gonna go home and sleep,
In my
in
own
my
bed.
own bed, and then we can come back at 7 in the morning."
Exactly.
Um, and, like, I know that my sister has not struggled with this, but she has my nephew and, my brother-in-law, and so hers isn't necessarily limiting time with us, but then,
She's
like, separating the time because both our family and his family live in Utah.
yeah.
So, yeah, there's obviously respectful ways, and she does really great at just being like, "Zuko has his nap at this time, and
Mhm.
so in order to make sure that we get this holiday with you guys, but also get to go see sports family, we're
Mhm.
gonna do XYZ."
Yeah.
So boundaries, like we've always said, boundaries are hot, but, yeah, just how you communicate them.
Yeah. I
But
love
they're good, like, I literally live down the hallway from my parents, but, I mean, even on the holidays, I'm like, "'Kay, we open
"Bye, time
presents,
to
like, I'm
go."
gonna go I don't know, take a bath," or
Yes.
you don't
Yes.
always need to be right next to me.
Yeah.
So
No, and I love that your family is able to respect that as well, and I feel for people that don't have a family that not don't have a family, but have a harder time with boundaries with their family
mhm,
because for me is like when I do go home, I am around my family. I sleep there all the time, but we've had these conversations and I'm probably wired just like my mom and dad in a sense where it's like we need our space. And so it's
mhm,
like, yeah, we're going to have this activity planned and then it's like, yeah, take a nap, let's eat dinner together. You can go to bed whenever. We go to bed early in general. So it's just like it's nice that we have that, but if we didn't with my
mhm,
family, I would need to have those type of boundaries set to be able to
yeah,
protect myself and also enjoy the holiday with them and not just feel overwhelmed and stressed the whole time.
yeah.
All right. Topic number 2. Holiday giving is not a love language test. Um, yeah, it is not a competition to see how to prove your love. I'm gonna buy you this Louis Vuitton. I mean,
Mhm,
nice, you could, but that doesn't show me how much you actually love and care about me.
yeah.
So we're gonna discuss some questions about that.
Okay, so, like she mentioned with the spending more, um, do you in a day when it comes to the holidays have a conversation on, like, a budget for each other or, like, maybe the type of, like, gift that you're both wanting to give or so
Mhm.
that it's not feeling like a competition or, like, someone's trying to, like, buy the other person's love or something, but more just like, "Okay, we wanna, like, an equal playing field."
Yeah.
How do you do
Yeah.
that?
I feel like in the past before we were married, we didn't discuss too much, about, like, how much are we planning on spending for each other kinda thing or stuff like that. I think I would listen to things that I could see that he maybe wanted, or I'd look for things that he needed
Mhm,
and be like, "This is a great time to buy him this." Obviously, I'm a teacher, I don't have $1 billion to spend on you. So, I like to break it down on, like, sales or a little bit earlier than Christmas to put things aside because I personally, I do love giving gifts, and I like putting things together, and I feel like that's a way that I do like to express my love for someone, but it's
Mhm.
definitely not the only thing you can do to be like, show that you love them. You need your words to match, you need your actions to match, all of that kinda stuff. And so, now since we're married, oh, I just hit the microphone. Now since we're married, we have obviously financial goals that we've, like, set and kind of are talking about, and kind of have a idea of, like, "'Kay, yeah, it's Christmas, but, like, I don't need to buy the whole store for you."
Yeah.
Like, I like to do something we usually like to do something kind of meaningful, something that we also, like, want, and those are kind of it. Like, I feel like the max we ever give is, like, 2 gifts, 3 gifts max, and it's like, "Hey, here you go," and then a lot of the times it's like, how can we spend a day together and have an activity during the holidays together where it's more just us, whether it's, like, going up to Park City and having lunch together, um, that would be part of, like, our holiday experience, trying to do an experience together or time away from family and everything where we
Mhm.
can enjoy the holidays together. That's
Yeah.
kinda how we do it.
I love that.
Okay, so do you have any recommendations, I guess, for people in relationships that are navigating the holiday season,
Mhm.
and feel like the anxiety they need to show up and show out for their partner to prove how much they care about them?
Okay, I think the most important thing I'm gonna try not to talk too much on this. I think the most important thing is to realize that gifts and gift giving and, like, the Christmas spirit and all of that, those don't fix emotional absence. Um,
Period.
I don't really know that there's much more to say. I think that if you're feeling like you and your partner, like, somewhere are like, there is emotional absence, like, that obviously needs to be a discussion and more of, like, how can we fix and navigate things, because I know, like, life gets busy and, like, sometimes you're not intending to be emotionally absent, but you just are. But, like, for me, I'm like, if you can't show up for me and make me feel emotionally safe, I don't care if you spend $2 or $2,000 on
Yeah.
me, like, I don't feel love like that. And so if you're in a season where you feel like your partner might be emotionally absent, maybe just before the holidays really, like, hit, having that conversation and just being like, "Hey, I'm feeling, like, maybe a lack of, affection or a lack of presence on your side, and, like, with the holidays coming up, I don't want you to go overboard with, like, the spending because that's not gonna make me feel loved." So, like, maybe recommending, like, "Let's go get lunch in one of our favorite little cities," or, "Let's do, like, an intentional date and spend time together rather than, like, buying me this, like, huge monumental gift."
Mhm.
I think that's where also the holidays can kind of get, like, skewed because you have relationships with people, whether platonic or not, that maybe are a little bit absent, and then they, like, buy this amazing gift, and so then you're, like, feel like
Feel
things are
yeah.
gonna get better or whatever, and then it just, like, goes back to how it was. So, yeah, gifts don't excuse, like, a lack of emotional presence.
Mhm.
And so kind of going back off of our, like, pre-topic cue, it can be hard to sit with, like, what do I talk about versus what do I not, like, the
Yeah.
discomfort versus
Mhm.
sharing your feelings. But I do think it's important to just be like, "Hey," like, with the holidays coming up, like, for me personally, a handwritten note and, like,
Yes.
a planned date night
Yeah.
would mean more to me than a Prada bag.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love a Prada bag, but, like,
Add it
I
in there
would rather
too.
yeah, but I would rather have, like, something more, like, emotionally
Yes.
I don't know. I'm a lover girl at heart, so, um, like, those gifts mean more to me.
Yeah, and I love that you said that because I feel like it's also just taking the time to reflect on how your partner likes to be loved and
Mhm.
how they'll feel loved because, like, as much as I do love getting gifts put together, like, a day's not a huge gift guy. He really could care less about a gift,
Yeah.
and so it's like, I have a couple things that I'm like, "Okay, I know he needs this. I know he's expressed he's wanted this, and I'm kind of listening," but if I was just to be like, "Hey, what do you want?" He'd be like, "Nothing." And so I have to kind of, like, dig in my brain when it comes to, like, a gift giving season to be like,
Mhm.
"How can I get him something?" but, like, what actually means more to him is, like, our quality time together and doing something together, and so I think it's also knowing your partner and knowing how do they feel loved
Yeah.
and making sure you're showing up in that way
Yeah.
during the holiday season and not
Yeah.
just getting taken away by, like, the the media of being like, "Buy this, sale this." Like, you can take a step back and be like, "Yeah, my partner actually, like, appreciates a little bit, but we don't
Mhm.
need to go all out for them to
Yeah.
feel loved."
No, I agree, and, like, one of the main points is just, like, you can't shop your way out of being a good partner.
No. Mm-mm.
Like, you really can't. You're either a good partner and you're showing up and you're trying, 'cause, like, you have different seasons of life and trying looks differently, but, like, you yeah, you don't get to fuck up really badly and then buy me something, like,
No.
extravagant and think that that's gonna
Fix
counteract the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
no,
Sorry, it
thank
doesn't
you.
work like that.
No. Okay, topic 3. So, some people feel lonelier at the table than outside of it. Um, I feel like the holidays can be a highlight of emotional neglect. And when I was writing this, I kind of was thinking more of like, how do you feel about being surrounded by family who either knows the old version of you or like in our age where we're like now becoming adults with our own ideas and political mindsets and views and stuff like that?
Yeah.
How do you navigate like especially in fuck in today's climate, going home and having conversations with people who might know the older version of you
Yeah.
about things that you're like, "Okay, maybe the older version of me or the younger version of me just didn't speak up on this, but, like,
Mhm.
fuck no."
Yeah.
How do
Yeah.
you
You know what? That's a really good question. I really enjoy thinking about these because I feel like now since we're getting older and we're having, like, families of our own or we've just grown a lot, I feel like, yeah, people put you back in like, when I see my extended family, it's like my aunts and uncles probably see me as, like, this little girl that was around during Christmas and the holidays, and now they really don't see me too much, and they
Mhm.
haven't seen me grow as much. There's a lot that, like, extended family in general doesn't know about you because you're not in constant communication with them,
Yeah.
and so like, maybe here and there, they might see your posts on social media, but they don't actually know what's been going on in your life unless you have a really close relationship with extended family where you're talking all the time. For me personally, they they just don't know as much that's going on. Um, I think wow, it's a strong thing to feel, like, lonelier at a table with a lot of people, but it's so
Mhm.
true and it's valid, and I think navigating those situations, I don't know, it is so hard with family. I think the hardest thing is to navigate these situations with family because it can be a whole whole disaster and a bomb that you're leaving and you're getting into fights with, and then it also can be something that you're not speaking up on, and you feel silenced and you feel like you can't express how you truly feel about things. So kind of how I've recently have been navigating things is I try to use, personal examples and experiences
Mhm.
from my life or my job's life, my students' life to discuss hard topics if hard topics come up.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, I feel like, people have a lot of privilege and sometimes don't recognize their privilege, and I'm one of them, I have so much privilege, and I recognize that, and there's some things I probably don't recognize and I need to
Mhm.
be called out on. But I think a lot of the times people can have these conversations and can get upset about certain things, and then I have a real life experience of being like, "Okay, well, have you ever thought of it like this?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a child go through this?
Mhm.
Oh, so you think this child shouldn't have this because of this?" And then it's like, it's just bringing real life experiences. I'm not telling them what they're believing is necessarily wrong. Um, I'm not trying to cause a huge fight, but I'm just trying to plant like "Have you ever thought of it this way?"
Yeah.
And, like, with education and with finishing up my schooling, I've learned a lot about, like, marginalized communities, and I feel like people around me and maybe, extended family or stuff like that are like, "Alicia, shut up." Like, I'm a white woman, so, like, what do
Mhm.
I know? Um, but I have been able to my eyes have been open to a lot of
Yeah.
things that, I don't experience personally, but I do see a lot of people around me experience, and so because of that, um, I'm gonna use my voice and have conversations, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's how I've navigated it. I'm not trying to cause a fight, I'm not trying to say what you're saying is absolutely wrong, even if that's how I feel,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna give you an experience that I have to maybe help you think of it another way.
Yeah. No, I love that, and I also think that depending on who you're sitting with and, like, what is making you feel lonelier at the table than, like, if you were to be by yourself, if you don't have it in you to have a conversation, like, get up and leave. Like, "Okay, I'm gonna excuse myself now."
I think that's like, period, like, I'm not trying to get into it any further, and I
Yeah.
think if you feel uncomfortable and it's getting to a place where you're like, "Oh, nope," I think it's totally valid and a great boundary to have,
Mhm.
to just be like, "You know what? Like, I think this conversation is not productive, like,
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
go.
leave."
Yeah.
We can maybe you can take time to revisit it later. It's those kind of topics are just really, really, really rough.
Yeah, they can be.
Um, with that being said, chosen family can be a lot safer than biological family, and I feel like it is nice to be able to then go back to, like, friends or people that you
Yeah.
do care about that have similar beliefs or, similar ways of thinking as yourself, and being able to then, have those discussions with people you care about and feel in a safe place, and so I think it's really important to make sure you do have people around you
Mhm.
that you love and that care about you, so when you are surrounded about around family or friends from past or just with different beliefs, that you can kind of, what is it called?
Like, come back
Yeah,
to
come
yeah.
back to and feel in a safer space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and it can be hard, like, with, like, your aunts or uncles or whatever that are like, "Oh, I remember when you were," and you're like, "Okay, yeah, I'm not." Like, it can be nice to, like, have those, like, more surface level conversations or,
Uh-huh.
like, if you're sitting at the dinner table and you feel lonely and then going and having a fun little, like, Christmas dinner party with your girls where, like,
Yes.
you don't feel lonely, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
you
just, like, balancing the 2. It honestly, I feel like the holidays are all about balance in, like, a lot of different ways.
definitely. Alright, topic 4. Oh, this is such a
Mm,
great topic.
yeah,
As any of you may have known, I think it was our 2nd episode, we talked
yeah.
about our eating disorders and disordered eating that we've experienced, and, yeah, eating disorders and these kind of patterns pop up a lot, especially during the holiday season.
Yeah.
Food becomes more emotional than physical during the holidays. How do you navigate that?
I have learned in, I don't know, the 10 years I feel like I've been, like, relatively healthy,
Mhm.
to cave into, like, some foods you only eat during the holidays.
Yes.
And that's okay. Like, I'm not going to have well, I can't have a lot of the food anymore 'cause of gluten, but, like, I'm not gonna eat a pecan cinnamon roll with, frosting and all the stuff
Yeah, that's not
every single day. But, like, during the holidays, if I wanna have one or 2 mornings, oh, well. Like, 1 day, 2 days, honestly, even a week of just indulging
Yeah.
in eating yummy foods and not focusing so much on healthy foods, it's not really gonna make that big of a difference. You probably will feel like shit. You if you're like you and I will notice your body changing, it's not changing. Um But, like, a week of just indulging in yummy foods, as long as you're being present with the foods, is not gonna change, like, your progress or your physique, like, you'll snap right back. So, I think something that I've just really focused on telling myself is, like, if I'm enjoying the food, it's a holiday food, I'm not gonna eat this year round, I'm not even gonna eat this next week.
Yeah.
But, like, I am gonna eat this right now.
No, and I think that's so important because I really struggle with that, especially because I've been working on more intuitive eating and fueling my body with things that feel good that I eat, but then also when I have things that there's no bad food, but feel more unsafe for
Yeah.
me, that I start to get thrown off, like, "Ah, I've ruined everything, like,
Mhm.
I've made no progress." And so just coming back to the fact, like, you really helped me with that the other day of just being like, yeah, you can have 3 days in a row of eating literally like shit,
Yeah.
and your body's not gonna change, and a day's also helped me of being like, "Yeah, if you've worked out and ate so clean for 3 days, is that gonna change your whole body? No."
Right.
So it's like taking the time to enjoy food with friends and family, it is like a social thing.
Mhm.
It's it's a bonding moment. It has a lot of memories with it, with food and holidays, and so taking the time to enjoy that and let yourself have that is huge. Also about taking time while you're eating to be a little bit more present. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay if you wanna have this cinnamon roll and this and that all on your plate. I think the hardest thing for myself is, like, if I'm checking out of when I'm eating it, I think it's the easiest way of being like, "Okay, these are really yummy. I really wanna eat some of this," and trying to just be more mindful. "Oh, this tastes good. Like, how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling
Mhm.
really full?" And kinda having those check-ins can also just help throughout your day. So you're not
Yeah.
literally feeling, like, disgusting or so full at the end of the day, because
Yeah.
that can just be triggering within itself.
Yeah. I mean, some of the bullet points that I, like, had actually written down, you hit on, eating when you're hungry. Maybe during the holidays, it's not so much, like, what you're eating, but, like, you
Mhm,
eat when you're hungry and, like, you eat
mhm,
what sounds good, but then you also stop when you're full.
mhm,
And choosing foods that feel good to your body. So,
mhm.
like, for some reason in my brain, maybe the cinnamon roll feels safer, where in your brain it doesn't.
Yeah.
So but then maybe, like, a dessert at dinner or something feels good for your body, and for my body, it doesn't.
Yes.
So just being aware and choosing those things. Um, I also feel like for some reason, people love to comment on people's plate sizes or,
Yeah.
that's one thing I don't play about. I don't play about my people, and I don't play about you talking about my food. I don't care if you're my friend, my family, my boyfriend, like, I don't fucking talk about what I'm eating and how much I'm eating.
Period.
I can't. I mm-mm. It's not even just during the holidays. Like,
In general, yeah.
if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat, and I don't need you to be watching me and being like, "Oh, wow, you had a whole burrito and chips and
Yeah,
salsa?"
I did.
Like, "Yeah, and what are you gonna do about it?" So I feel like I get a little snappy
Mhm.
when people comment on, like, "Oh, wow, like, your plate's pretty full."
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, like, and yours isn't, or yours is too,
Yeah,
like, or
yeah.
maybe, you're gonna go back and have 2 plates and I just had this massive like, do not comment on people's plates. It doesn't matter. I don't know what it does for people to comment
Yeah.
on, like, what people eat, like, why the fuck do you care so much what I'm eating? It's my body. If you can't tell, like, it fires me up. I don't
Yeah.
like it. Especially if you're, like, trying to intuitively eat. I'm like, this maybe isn't the healthiest, but it's still something I struggle with, like, on Christmas Day where you're, like, you're gonna have a big dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a little bit less at breakfast. I'm
Yeah.
not saying you should. I'm just, like, being real.
Of,
Like,
like,
I
how
do
you
it where
do
it's, like,
yeah.
I'll have, like, coffee and a banana, and then maybe I'll have, like, a yogurt and, like,
Yeah.
cheese and crackers or something so that I'm, like, hungry. So, like, also, you don't know what I've eaten during the day, and I'm trying to feed my body, so just shut the hell up.
Yeah. There's no point to comment on people's food, what they're eating. There's
No.
no point of commenting on people's bodies during the holidays. It's just kind of like that is a topic that does not need to be discussed,
No, and,
period.
like, literally, I don't care who you are. Like, do not. Yeah, if anyone that knows me is watching this, and is gonna be around me during the holidays,
Don't comment on her
don't
food.
comment. I don't wanna hear it, and I will bite your head off. Okay, so we've talked about how the holidays can be triggering. They can also be magical. We don't wanna just be like, "Fuck the holidays," because, like, there is some, like, magic to the holidays, and
Oh, they are
so,
so fun.
um, I think the older you get and, like you said, like, creating your own families and your own traditions and stuff like that, it's like learning to enjoy the holiday season without abandoning your own needs or rhythms and routines. It's really easy for rhythms and routines to get thrown off during the holidays, but if
Mhm.
that's something that you need, don't let people take that away from you. Like,
Yeah.
if you normally work out X amount of days, in all reality, you might not during the
Mhm.
holiday season, but, like, you still have to stand up for, like, what you need. So, I
I
don't yeah.
No, I think that's huge. I think making sure you're taking care of yourself the best that you are. I mean, for myself, I'm like a routine structured
Mhm.
girly, and I recognize during the holidays that yes, some workouts might be skipped, some things, but if I can keep things as similar as they normally are for me, then that usually is what feels best
Yeah.
during the holidays. And so it's making sure you schedule out that time of like, hey, I do work out usually 3 times a week. It might look different and might not be as long or whatever, but I'm gonna try to carve out that time, like making
Mhm.
sure I'm still getting some movement in, whether that's a walk, or making sure that I'm taking like myself, my own time to myself and
Yeah,
scheduling that in during the holidays. That's just like the best way to protect your peace
agree.
and take care of yourself.
I agree. Let's see. I feel like this is, like, the biggest w one of the biggest, like, not quotes, but, like, things that you can remember to still allow the holidays to be magical. You do not have to match the emotional temperature of the room that you're in, period. Like, I don't think that there's much I can't speak. I don't think there's much more that needs to be said in terms of that. I think that goes kind of with what we were talking about of, like, if you wanna have the holidays be, like, magical and you don't wanna get into, like, the some of the,
Yes.
like, negativities that might come from it or, like, the conversations that might arise, um, excuse yourself, like or if, like, it's just, like, super, like, I don't know, down and depressive in a room you're in, just be like, "I
Y
don't want this energy." Like,
yeah.
"I don't wanna sit here, I'm sorry that you might be feeling like this, sorry if the holidays are hard for you, but, like, I don't wanna be surrounded in a dark cloud, so I'm gonna go."
Yeah. No, 100%. And my brain's not working, don't stop taking your fucking medication. Sorry, let me
Yay.
rethink my thoughts. I'm not well. Um, Going off of that, I can't remember what I was gonna say. Oh, I also think it's important that you are showing up like your full self.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't wanna just be a depressed Debbie Downer, but you also don't need to fake like,
Yeah,
like, I
yeah.
think it's important to be like, "Okay, would my family, be more grateful for me to be showing up right now and being present even if I'm not, like, my best version of myself right now,
Right.
instead of not coming?" And so I think it also is just, like, take the time to be, like, true to how you're feeling. You don't need to put on a front around your family. You can show up and be who you are
Yeah,
and, like, allow yourself to be like that, and if it's a little bit different than how you normally show up during the holidays, that is also okay.
yeah. No, I agree.
Oh,
Alright.
goodness.
Well,
Well,
we're gonna leave you with that.
mhm. Happy holidays. Good
I
luck.
can't wait for the holiday season.
Let us know any tips or tricks that you guys do during the holidays
Yeah,
if you feel like they're kinda hard for you or just how you best navigate them. I feel like that's always really helpful. I love hearing from other people.
yeah.
But until next time, be kind to yourself.
And remember,
We
we are all lessons
lessons
in
in
progress.
Cheers.
Cheers.